Okay, welcome back for another story from West Virginia. This one here is also happened to me, and it's pretty close to where I live. This all happened on a night that, well, technically we was just bored, and we wanted to do something. And a friend of mine knew where an old house was that was supposedly haunted, so we thought, why not? Let's go check it out. So like I said, it didn't take us long to get there. It was only about 20 minutes from my house. So there was probably 10 of us all together, and we all jumped in a couple cars and we headed toward the house. Well, of course, we're already freaking ourselves out before we ever get there. But at this point in time, I'm kind of skeptical about ghosts, and I'm not really worried about it. But when we pull up to the house, it was for sure a creepy house. It was just an old house. We had no stories about the house. We had no idea anything about the house. All it was just scary looking. So we all jump out and just start taking pictures of the house and just scaring each other, normal stuff. We heard a couple noises inside the house while we were outside taking pictures, and obviously it scared a bunch of them. But then a buddy of mine was like, well, let's go in the house. Let's just go in. Well, most of them was like, no, there's no way I'm going in this house. But I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. So there was about 3 of us that was ready to go into the house. So we made our way across the yard, up on the steps, onto the porch, and walked into the house. Well, the house was even creepier on the inside because it looked as if no one had done anything but just leave. Like the house was literally like somebody had just left. Didn't pack nothing, just left the house. So that was a little weird to me. But we went on ahead and walked around and checked out everything, taking pictures as we go. Well, as we were downstairs, you could hear noises upstairs, like people walking or something walking around. And of course, I come up with the obvious solution that it was probably raccoons or squirrels because the house was no windows. So at this point it was just 2 of us. So we were going on upstairs and he didn't want to go, so he backed out and went to the cars. So now it's down to just me and a friend of mine, and we're going up these steps. And I'm not going to lie, it was very creepy. And when we get to the top of the steps, there was 2 rooms, one on each end of the house. They were fairly big rooms. And like downstairs, it looked as if they had just left. Nothing was new, nothing was put up, nothing was packed. It was all just laying there as if they just got done playing with the stuff. And I say playing with the stuff because we're now in kids' rooms. Pictures on the walls that the kids have drawn, colored, and left. And I don't know about you, but kids creep me out when it comes to ghosts. So to say the least, I was very, very creeped out. There was toys, pictures, just laying everywhere. So now I'm starting to get an uneasy feeling. And so is my friend. But, we're too cool to back out. We're going through with this. So as we're walking into the second room from the steps on the far end of the house, as soon as my friend walks into the room, something from the corner comes flying out. It was an old creepy baby doll, like it'd just been thrown at us. So obviously we thought that was a little strange. But it's going to take more than a baby doll to scare us. So we're walking around, rummaging through everything, and it just feels like there's someone watching us, like there's someone there. And the feeling just kept getting stronger and stronger. And about that time, my buddy lets out a yell, like something had hurt him. And I was like, what is wrong? What's going on? Did you step on something? What happened? He said, man, I think something scratched me. Check my back. So I checked his back while we're standing in this room. And sure enough, 3 little scratches right down his back. And they were pretty deep, to be honest. They didn't look good at all. So at this time, we're done. We're getting out of this house, but we're not going to rush. We're not going to run. We're not going to freak out and get hurt even more. So we're making our way back through the rooms, through the first room, into the second room, into the stairs. And when we get to the top of the stairs, my buddy freezes. I'm like, what? What's going on? Why are we not moving? He quietly said, can you see it? Can you not see that? I don't see nothing. What do you see? There was a baby standing at the bottom of the steps with nothing but a diaper, but it was a legit baby. I didn't see anything, but I was ready to leave. He's like, it's gone, so let's go. So obviously we picked up the pace a little bit, and we were down the steps and out of the house in no time flat. When we hit the door running, of course we freaked out everybody else that was standing out by the cars, and they were in the car ready to go by the time we got there. But before I got in the car, I stopped, and I took a few more pictures of the house before we left. And I'm glad I did. So now that we're all back in the cars and we're heading down the road, we decided to go to my place and check out all the pictures and talk about what had happened, and of course look at my friend's back. So when we get back home, we put the pictures on the TV so we could see them a lot better. We were going over all the pictures, and in most of the pictures there was really nothing. It's just the house, nothing more. But in the last picture that I took before I stepped into the car, there it was, plain as day. Standing in a half-open doorway was a baby in a diaper. Now, I'm not talking about smoke, fog, most of what people say when they talk about ghosts. This was a complete picture of a child standing in the doorway with a diaper on, just as if it was actually a real child standing there. Now, unfortunately, over the years, I've lost this picture. I do not have it at the time, and I hate the fact that I lost this picture because it was unreal. By far the craziest thing I've ever seen on camera. But after going through all the pictures, that was the only picture that we ever got anything. And of course we bandaged my friend up and we called it a night as they went home and I went to bed. But a few days later, I was just curious, and I was looking on West Virginia Ghost Hunters. And I was looking through their stuff, looking through their photos, and I come across this house. Like I couldn't believe it. This is the same house that we were just in. So I decided to read on it to see what kind of information they would have about this house. And what I read literally stopped my heart. In the late 80s, this house was the scene of a murder-suicide. A man killed his wife and 2 kids, and then killed himself in this house. I could not believe what I was reading, especially after seeing this kid. But we never returned to this house, and now the house is gone forever. They tore this house down to make way for a off-ramp to a new interstate that they put in. So if you're ever in the Fraser's Bottom area and you find yourself on 35, Interstate 35, and you see a 5 and 20 off-ramp, when you get to the bottom of that off-ramp, this is where the house used to sit. You're sitting right on top of it. So I'm not sure if the land around it is haunted or not. I couldn't tell you. I haven't been back. But this house still haunts my memories, and I'll never forget it. So I hope you're enjoying the videos, and please subscribe, like, share, and thanks for listening. Until next time.